565 Radio. This is Paul Catalina's Top 5 at 555. Presented by Slapsticks Comedy Club. For ticket information, go to slapstickscomedy.com.
Top 5 hot seats after week 1. We'll do this. We're not going to do this every week. We'll do maybe monthly hot seat check-ins. But this is overreaction week.
No question.
So I thought, and these
Wait till after the first week of the NFL.
These are varying degrees of heat. So some of these guys, there's already heat, but it's the same degree as hot. So while they might be maybe higher on some people's lists, but I said the heat went from what it was to a higher degree for each of these guys as we go up the list. So
like hot ones?
Yeah, exactly.
They start off with the smaller heat and they get to the just blow your mouth off.
Yeah, one of the great YouTube shows you need to watch. It's excellent interviews and hilarious to watch celebrities like fight up more than they can chew.
Yeah, suffer.
Yeah. Number 5, Scott Frost in Nebraska. His seat's going to remain hot until they knock people back.
Well, there's a chance they lose to Buffalo this week. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you.
Mm-hmm.
No, yeah, there's not a guaranteed win against Buffalo.
And then they get to go play in Norman. And that might be 80-20. Although Oklahoma's defense might give up 27, but they'll still score 75.
Yeah, they'll give up 27 in the third quarter when they can't run the ball with a lead, and then they'll make it a closer game than it appeared. That's what happened last week. Yeah. But
all right,
yeah,
Paul.
I mean, Scott Frost's seat is torching right now, I would imagine, in Lincoln.
It's a good-looking picture of him. I didn't realize he's on fire.
Yeah. Clearly neither does he in that picture.
Yeah.
Number 4, Doug Martin at New Mexico State. New Mexico State just continues to get worse and worse. And look, I know this is far from a Power 5 team, but this is a team that's been trying to get good again through like 3 coaches in a row.
Hey, remember Larry Rose III, running back out of Fairfield High School, had a great run there.
Yeah, they actually had some success with him. But yeah, Larry Rose is long in the past now at this point. He's been gone for 3 or 4 years. But when he was there, they were actually making a little bit of noise if you paid attention to football outside of just like the Power 5s, for sure.
And also, this is not a show where we just pay attention to the Power 5.
Yeah.
We're all-inclusive when it comes here. Number 3, Steve ADDAZIO at Colorado State. They do not seem to be making any kind of progress. And ADDAZIO's been a couple places, Temple, Boston College, and now Colorado State. And he might be best suited, and he's from the Urban Meyer tree, and, everybody loves him because of that. But I think that he might be best suited to be what he is, an elite offensive line coach or coordinator.
Yeah, Colorado State, a team that a lot of people thought was going to be in the mix for the Big 12 potentially. Maybe they still are down the road. But, it's not going to help if you got a football program.
AAC candidate, current
AAC
now Colorado State.
Yeah, now a bit of a AAC candidate. Yeah.
Number 2, Ed Orgeron at LSU. And look, this could turn around really quickly for LSU, and Ed Orgeron. But right now, he is, I keep saying it, he is in that Gene Chizik territory of
National championship
to look, it all fell apart. And
who else did that? I mean, there's been some that have won national title, like Mac Brown, but it was 05, and he
didn't win, but he got there and lost in the last second. So and he
had success against Alabama.
Yeah, but it's the SEC. There's no
Yeah, it was funny. There's a video from Vikings linebacker Eric Kendricks. And he is a UCLA guy, and so he put out a little TikTok. I don't have TikTok, but thankfully people who do post good stuff on the Twitter because I'll never see it otherwise. But he was going around the Vikings locker room to the 3 LSU players. It was Justin Jefferson, it was Patrick Peterson, and there was one more, Danielle Hunter. And he just walked up real sly and just had this UCLA ball cap, and just see their reactions as they turn. Because like Patrick Peterson, he walks up to and like, hey, what's up, man? And Peterson turns around like to grab something, and then realizes it's a UCLA hat and just dips his head. It was great. But yeah, Orgeron, a lot of LSU alums, Tyrann Mathieu, a bunch of them sounding off this past weekend. He's definitely on the hot seat down in Baton Rouge.
Yeah, when you get the alums, the prominent ones.
Well, and they got to wonder, too, like that whole magical run, that was great. Ed Orgeron's forever enshrined in LSU lore because of that. But you can't say it was all him. It was very clearly Joe Burrow. It was very clearly Brady. It was very clearly,
Dave Aranda.
Yeah, Dave Aranda, freaking, of course, right? So, yeah, there was a lot of pieces in play that were not just Ed O. He was just like the spokesperson, basically.
Would you take what LSU has done?
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Of course.
I mean, take it at him. You
Give me
get
that
an A.
season from 2 years ago,
That's
and I'll
all
be
I need.
happy.
Elizabeth,
Yeah.
take me now. But just one more of that.
But
little
that's
run.
not the realistic thing down there.
I
I mean, they're not stopping with that last one.
Just
so.
a matter of perspective.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. All right. And number 1, Scott Satterfield at Louisville. Looked outside of Louisville before the season was, after last season at South Carolina. Louisville's a team that's been burned. Bobby Petrino burned them hard before. And that's not a fan base that if you're going to look at another job, you better get the damn thing, honestly, because they are not going to take it well. They're not going to understand. There's no explaining your way out of it. I just had to look, even though that's fair for Scott Satterfield. You want to look at another job that you maybe thought was better than the one you had because it wasn't open. That's fair. Everybody does that in life, but most of us don't have to turn around and explain it to a massive fan base why you did that. And Scott Satterfield is going to be in this heat unless he gets Malik Cunningham, who's a really good athletic quarterback, going. But that team got their asses handed to them by Ole Miss the other night.
Why do you have to
good.
say bad language?
Because that's what happened.
Oh, they did get their asses
Yeah,
handed.
they did.
I mean, I've never used that on this show.
Yeah.
But they did, though.
Not late in the last 24 hours.
I don't think it's a phrase you throw around loosely, but in that case, it's absolutely 100% correct. And yeah, Louisville is not the Louisville that we've been accustomed to the last few years. I mean, he's barely above 500. And you're right, Paul. I mean, that gamble on his part. Remember Fuentes during the Baylor job being open? He there was that thing with Baylor for like 2 seconds, but he very quickly then was like, I'm pulling my name out, and everything settled down. Because there was actually some Virginia Tech fans who were like, oh, really? You're even flirting with the job. And so he shut that down immediately. Satterfield did not. And, yeah, that's going to hang over you for good.
Yeah, that's interesting. And there's a few on the chat room talking about it. Man, it seems like the LSU championship was ancient history. One quick note from is that it, Paul?
Yep.
Great list as always. Jeremy